The key word is endeavor. So to me, that energy is about starting new beginnings. It's about maybe going on a quest. And really, what it boils down to is committing and showing up for yourself. And that's what I really want to highlight in this episode about the energy right now is really showing up for yourself. Welcome back to Enthusiastically Spiritual. I'm your host, Teresa, and welcome to season 3. Wow, I cannot even believe it's season 3 already, but it is. This is actually almost my 3rd year anniversary, and I'm releasing season 3 in March of 2023. So if you've listened to this or watched this in the future, that's when was released, is March of 2023. So some new things I want to share with you listeners about this new season coming up. It will still have amazing guests in it, but I'm definitely going to complement those guest interviews with more of my own sharings, more sharings with TNT Spirit Works with my partner Tom, and also an opening episode like this one where I'm going to be talking about the upcoming episodes, the guests coming up, and the energy that's around these certain episodes. So, for myself, I absolutely love this podcast. I absolutely love sharing this information out in the world for all of you. So, this podcast really is a mirror of myself. So, for myself, when I started my spiritual path, I dove into everything and I still do. I still love trying things. I'm more discerning now with what I resonate with and what I don't resonate with. And I don't jump on every single thing, but I love having like a buffet line of spiritual items to choose from. So if some days I may want to do tarot, some days I meditate, some days I do oracle cards, some days I just connect straight on to my guide. So it really all varies, but having a variety is really key for myself. And so that's why this podcast really is the way it is. Recently, I was asked by another person, actually an upcoming guest. He said to me, Teresa, is there any guest that you really like, a dream guest, like someone you'd love to come on, like Brene Brown or Eckhart Tolle or someone like that? I thought and I said, no, really, there's not. There's a platform for all those people out there in the world, and they are on all kinds of podcasts all the time. These are big people, right? But there's also hundreds of thousands of other people out in the world sharing just as profound information, just as profound services, and their passion is just as profound as any of the really big thought leaders and leaders out in the world doing spiritual work. So my answer was no. I'm so happy with all the guests that come on my podcast because each one adds a little uniqueness to the podcast. It adds something, a unique flavor also to my life because I also gain insights from all the guests that come on. And honestly, between you and I, listeners, some of the guests that I had on, I actually started working with after they came on. So not only am I, sharing with all of you lovely people out in the world how amazing mind, body, spirit aspects of our spiritual part are, but I've found some of my own mentors around the world, and I've been working with them in the last couple of years. So it's a win-win-win for all of us for sure. So in this first episode of season 3, I want to share a little bit about the energy of where things are at right now when these upcoming episodes are being produced and also sent out to you guys. So the energy is the key word is endeavor. So to me, that energy is about starting new beginnings. It's about maybe going on a quest. And really, what it boils down to is committing and showing up for yourself. And that's what I really want to highlight in this episode about the energy right now is really showing up for yourself. And how does that look for yourself? And how that looks for you and how it looks for me and other people is all going to look different, but really being authentic and being and honoring who you are as a soul and what you've come to do and what you've come to explore for your own journey. Because as I say, each time our journeys are unique and committing and showing up for yourself is so important. So this month, I've got 2 amazing guests on. One, his name is Daniel John, and he's a medium, and he really works with around grief and around helping you connect with loved ones after they've passed. Beautiful soul on a big mission, and I saw that too as being a part of that endeavor and that quest of really understanding what happens when we pass on and not having fear around that. And knowing that moving into another realm of really energy and just dropping these skin suits, I like to sometimes call them, is okay. And it's just part of our evolution. It's part of what we do time and time again through what our soul does here on the planet. We're born, we die. So him and I, we had a really wonderful discussion and sharing about death and about, really understanding more on that evolutionary level of where we are as a soul and how to really embrace that and not have fear and anxiety around it, especially with so much in the world right now, so many people transitioning and a lot of people going through a lot of things that are intense. So it really is a beautiful episode coming up this month and the next couple episodes, depending upon when you're watching this, that I think you'll get a lot out of. And then the other person coming up the next few episodes, her name is Stephanie Banks. And Stephanie is a channel intuitive, so she really channels spirit. And I can tell you, her energy was so calming, so relaxing, and she really has a beautiful presence around her that made me feel like like wow, calmer, and just that she really is connected to source. And so a lot of what we talked about was really that inner connection that we all have within us to connect with source and to connect with our spiritual helpers, and having that guidance of maybe you might need someone outside of you to discern something and to really help you. And that's what she's here to do. She's really here to support and really help bring forth messages that you and other ones around you may need to hear at the right time through spirit. So it was a lovely, lovely upcoming episode. And I hope that whenever you listen to it, you really enjoy it. So, what I also want to do with this is this episode, I'd like to share a little bit, a couple comments that I recently got from some viewers and some listeners of my podcast. So, one comment comes from Daniela from Art Soul Talking, and she said, "Keep up the good word about the things that unite us as humans. There's still more people who need to wake up to the subject than those who already woke up." And woo, that was a powerhouse of a statement. And I just appreciate her so much for listening to it. She listened to a recent episode that really was all about how we're all one. How no matter what you call your higher source, God, Allah, whatever you call it, we are all one, and really embracing that. And it was actually the episode with Kevin McCrudden called The Light of Man that she was referring to. So just wanted to do a thank you for Daniela for her support and for continually sharing insights as well as beautiful words on some of the episodes that she's enjoyed. Then I also received one by Tracy Champlin 627, and that one said, "Very useful. This podcast always has practical advice and action to take and make your life better. I love starting my morning with it." Thank you so much, Tracy. I'm so happy that you enjoy this podcast and that you love, sharing it in the morning and listening in the morning. And honestly, that's a lot of what I'm about, is making it practical. There's so many beautiful souls out in the world sharing in different variations and different resonancies. And so being able to make all this practical, making it practical that when you pick up a hunch, an insight, an impression from spirit throughout your day, that you can discern that and you can get the message you need or get the insight for that moment or get the premonition of what's coming. And so really making it practical, even like energetically. We walk through this world where everything is energy. And no matter if, even if a lot of us can't see all the different realms of energy, they're out there. So being able to discern and keep yourself cleansed and keep yourself buffered and keep your aura high as you move through, because I can tell you from my experience, and I do a lot of energy work on myself as far as trying to, just keep myself intact and moving forward every day. But I too have energies that move in on me. I just had one the other day where I was going to a restaurant with Tom, and we were going to have lunch. All of a sudden, I felt in our car, I had a headache, and I'm like, God, what is wrong with me? I don't feel good all of a sudden. So we went into this place, and I went to the bathroom, and Tom went and sat down. And I still wasn't feeling too well. But as I came out of the bathroom, I saw Tom and I saw the waitress. So I kind of hustled over without even looking down. And there was a little ledge, and I fell onto my left side, onto my shoulder and my hip really hard. And I was like, what in the world? I fell because there was a step up that I didn't even see. And so it was pretty intense. And why I'm sharing this with you is because an energy moved in on me that I later discerned what it was. I discerned what why did all that happen? But these things happen to us all the time, and we don't recognize or understand, why did I fall? Why did that happen? Why? Because a lot of times it's outside energy. So again, back to your beautiful message, Tracy, is that making it practical, understanding what happens every day, and why. I mean, we don't have to understand everything, but there are times like that when I had the accident, I'm like, what the hell is this about? And so for my discernment and regrouping, why did that happen? Why did that energy move in on me? What was that energy about? Really helped me shift my energy to a new understanding and discernment of when that comes in on me, and how to not allow that to have me fall all the time, because if I fell all the time, my god, I would be not in a good place. So that was one way that I make spirituality practical in all this that I do share with all of you guys. So another beautiful message was from Luther Volkman 4718. He said, awesome, awesome podcast. The only one that actually motivates me and I enjoy. Wow, Luther. Thank you so much for that comment. In the, I don't know how many millions of podcasts out there, and this is the only one that actually motivates you. That means so much to me, and I really appreciate you so much saying that for this podcast and for what motivates you. And I'm so happy it does. And honestly, that's part of why I do this, because to give a platform to people to speak truths, to share freely about mind, body, spirit aspects of spirituality, and getting the message out there. So even if every single one of these episodes may not resonate for you, there may be some that do more than others. Or in each one, there might be a little gold nugget that you might need to hear for your journey on that day or that time when you were driving and listening to one of the episodes. So knowing that there are people out there that this podcast does motivate just really means so much to me, and I really absolutely appreciate it. So another one that I want to share was from Kobe Funk 6746, and he wrote, "Love, thank you for this podcast. You're awesome." So I want to say to Kobe, thank you so much, Kobe. You're awesome. And that's why I do this podcast. And that's why I am so excited about season 3 and about bringing new guests and new insights and new sharings, because I think this podcast is pretty awesome myself. And I love sharing enthusiasm with all of you out there. And it just means the world again that, you guys leave these beautiful comments for me. And these all came from Apple Podcasts. So thank you all so much. And all the other people that recently left message for me, I appreciate you so, so very much. So back to the energy of this month, which is endeavor, and looking forward at the upcoming episodes I have for this next few series. It's going to be amazing. And again, that's the new format that's going to happen. I'm going to have an intro like this, where I'm going to be sharing the energy of the upcoming episodes, sharing a couple guest episodes, one with Tom and I for TNT Spirit Works, and then a closing episode. So I hope that you enjoy the new format. I hope that you enjoy the new guests that are coming this season. And I am so excited about it. And then I also wanted to say that please make sure that if you've not subscribed to this podcast, that you do, and that you also like and comment like some of these beautiful people did over the last month, as well as if you would like to support this podcast. There's a couple different ways you can do it, and they're all in the show notes. One is called Pod Inbox, and at Pod Inbox, you can just leave a support. You can actually leave a message. You can actually do a shout out. I can give a shout out for your name or business on my podcast. And so you can check out that. And there's also some other ways you can support the podcast that you'll find in the podcast, the notes. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that you enjoy this new season. It's going to rock. I love number 3, so that means it's going to be rocking amazing with spirit by my side. So until next episode, Please remember that life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey.